Hey, what are you doing? The house is totally a mess, don't you know? The kitchen and bathroom sinks are full of mildew. You haven't washed the dishes yet. People using it. When are you going to come back home and start getting the chores around the house done?
Mom, I'm just trying to get some rest. Don't you remember I'm pregnant? I'm at my parents' now. It's like an hour away from back home. I can't go back right now.
Are you talking me back now? I'll teach you a lesson. Is being pregnant a disease? Are you disabled or sick? So if you get sick, what you're telling me is that you can't do anything on your own and have to be babied? You should be moving around more because of the fact that you're about to give birth. That's how people give birth easily, by exercising and moving around. Don't just lay on bed all day long. You've never had a kid yet, so listen to the person who's already had 3 kids. Because I know more than you. And what do you mean you're at your parents'? Don't play with me, Ruby. When did you have a place to go called your parents'? So now your sister is your parent? When did things become that way?
Well, Emily. It's just a figure of speech. She's my only blood. And she pretty much is what I call back home now.
It's the same thing with your sister too. Shouldn't she tell you that you should go and rest up with your in-laws instead of going and bugging her? But she's the one that wanted to take care of you until you give birth. How silly it is. As if she's trying to show off that you guys really don't have parents. You should know that it's rude and inconvenient to take away someone else's daughter-in-law like that. Because now what are we supposed to do? The house is all messed up and she's just gonna watch the chaos happen?
That's enough, Emily. Now you're gonna drag my sister into your slander and disrespect her as if it wasn't enough doing it to me? There's no reason why my sister should be hearing these disgusting comments from you.
Who are you defending right now? You've got married and she's not your family anymore. You're ours now, she has nothing to do with you anymore. And if she knows that, she should have already stepped away from this whole thing. But she went as far as to take you away from the house. How's this normal? What does she know about resting up anyway? She's too young and inexperienced for that.
Emily, my sister already has 2 kids and she's a mom too, just like you. And if anything, she's done a better job at taking care of her health than whatever you've been doing when it comes to this matter.
Stop talking nonsense, Ruby. Get back home right now. You need to clean the house and make some food for us to eat. We don't know when the kid is gonna come out, it could be any time now. So make sure you focus on the curtains, bed sheets, windows, and toilets. Clean them all. And don't forget about the stew that I want you to make. You can make a pot of it and stick it in the refrigerator for us to eat later. Your father-in-law doesn't like not having some sort of vegetable to eat for every meal. So be sure to make different sides with vegetables. Oh, while you're at it, go ahead and use that frozen seafood up in the freezer so we can get rid of it. You should be doing all of this on your own, Ruby. I shouldn't have to tell you to do everything. Do I really need to take my time with all of this? What is it that you can do on your own? You're really good for nothing. There's a ton of stuff to get done at home. But you want to lay around at your sister's house and do nothing and be lazy all day. Anyway, get back to the house. I'm ordering you, Ruby.
Mom, let me tell you that I'm just not gonna be able to do all of that, even if I were to go back home now. I wouldn't be able to do it all today. I've been feeling some pain in my abdomen because the baby's been weighing me down low. And I have no idea when my water might break. If you care about the child inside of my stomach at least a little bit, please don't tell me to do chores right now.
How convenient, using your pregnancy as an excuse to get out of literally anything, Ruby. If you feel pain, then you feel pain. It's normal for water to break to give birth and feel pain. Do you think that you are going to keep the baby in your stomach forever? What are you going to call yourself a mom when you're too scared of your water breaking and want to use it as an excuse to get out of things?
That's not what I meant to say. Why are you twisting everything I say?
I don't want to hear anything from you, Ruby. If I don't see you come back home and take care of the house, you'll know what's coming for you. I don't need a lazy daughter-in-law like you. You can't even do the basics. I'm gonna make you get a divorce.
Oh, really? I guess I'm getting a divorce. So be it. I was getting sick and tired of you anyway.
What did you just say? Do you really think that you'll be able to take care of a newborn by yourself after getting divorced? You must be out of your mind. It is being able to spend someone else's hard-earned money to eat nice meals and sleep under a sturdy roof, isn't it? You're going to finally realize how stupid you were when you end up having to live under the bridge on boxes and eating rotten food.
I was just going to listen to what you had to say, but it's starting to actually get on my nerves.
I'm not gonna forgive you even if you come back later bawling your eyes out and begging for forgiveness.
Is this the 12th century? Who lives like this anymore? I can't believe that an evil mother-in-law like you still exists in this time and age. It just doesn't make sense.
What? What? Are you saying that yourself, or have you finally gone mad? How dare you talk like that to your mother-in-law? Get your slick behind over here and get down on your knees and apologize to me. Hurry up, Ruby.
What are you even talking about? What makes you think that I even want to beg for forgiveness? Look, old lady. You treat my sister like a slave and look down on me all the time. I don't know if your son marry a wife if you want to hire an unpaid housemaid? I believe that's the latter. Because of the fact that our parents passed away early in our lives, you always call me an orphan. Is that a way to entertain yourself? You're always saying all these horrible things to me. I've been getting treated like dirt, and now I won't let this happen anymore.
What? Are you insane, Ruby? I'm teaching you, as my daughter-in-law, how to become an actual good daughter-in-law. I just do the best for you. You are now in our family, so you're under my control.
No, Emily. You're gonna make me get a divorce? Cool. That is the best for me now. When is a good time for filing for divorce? I'll be needing some rest after I give birth, so maybe we should get it started now before it happens too late. I'm fine with it happening literally tomorrow. So maybe send your son over so we can take care of this matter.
What did you just say? How dare you say that to me? The time getting divorced is in my decision. You can't get involved, this is my business. It has nothing to do with you, and you have no right at all. If you're really that bored, how about you go ahead and come over here, make some food, clean the house up? Or you can ask for your sister help. Let come over every 2 days and be our cleaning lady while you're resting. Once you can get these things done, I'll stop bothering you. How does that sound, Ruby?
Do you know that what you're doing is inhumane and bothersome? Were you raised on a farm? What is this that you're doing right now? Being all rude, dehumanizing me, treating me like a slave. Did you grow up being taught that it was okay to do that to other people? Or did nobody tell you what's right and wrong? If so, there's no surprise when you're acting like this.
What did you say to me? How dare you? I'm your mother-in-law. Your parents didn't teach you how to talk with the older? Oh, that's right, an orphan never knows that. So let me teach you. I tried to show you some respect, because after all you're still my in-law. But you want to treat me like garbage. So are you saying that you're fine with your divorce?
I told you that I'm completely on the same page with you. My husband can't protect me from a cruel woman, so why do I need him anymore? So let's get on. Do you not understand English or something? Why are you making me repeat myself?
You're going to regret talking to me like that.
Don't talk to me anymore. It's not funny, and honestly, it's pathetic that you aged backward like this. Stop it now.
Did my son go over to your place? Tell him to get back here now. How dare you to take my son away from me? Before I head over there myself and destroy everything in sight, hurry up and convince him to come back here. You understand?
Emily, I just gave birth 4 days ago. I'm taking a break.
I have nothing more to say or talk about with you. Tell my son to get back home now.
Is it really that hard for you to show some respect around here? You are always being so rude, Emily. Stop showing off how uneducated you are and please start talking with a bit more esteem.
What? What are you saying? I guess you need a lesson.
By the way, I don't think your son is gonna go back home. At least not anymore.
What?
Because I didn't speak a word about you bullying me, he had no idea what was going on behind the doors. I saw that you acted extremely differently when Isaac was around. So you're gonna do the two-faced thing? When he's not around, you act like the world's greatest mom and mother-in-law to be alive. How did you become such a barbaric person like that, Emily? This is all coming back to you for everything that you've done. It says it all when your own son that you gave birth to wants to cut ties with you.
What? My son is cutting ties with me? How?
Yes, at least that's what he told me. You better get ready.
There's no way he'd actually do or say something like that. It must have been you that brainwashed him. Whatever, tell him answer my phone call. He should be able to believe me if I explain everything to him.
I've recorded all of our conversation. And he told me that he can't see you as his mother anymore. He decided this on his own. He wants to protect his wife and his newborn child.
What? How do I know that the kid is actually my son's child? I realize that you wear makeup when going outside without my son. Sometimes I see you come back home a little later than usual. You must be seeing another guy.
You are kidding, right? Just because I come home late doesn't mean I cheat on my husband. And I want to take care of myself. I want my appearance to be gentle when going outsides. That's why I wear makeup. Unlike me, you're just an old and grumpy woman. No one wants to make friend with you.
You!
No one wants to make friend with you. I've been putting up with you since day one. So I don't have to tolerate anymore. I know that you have no friends. And no one cares about you when you're going out. So you choose me as a place where you leave off steam. Poor me. Why don't I realize that sooner? So stop it here. I don't want to see you get any lower than you are at now.
You must have made up all the things about me. Give the phone to my son. Right now.
I have to tell you that's such a useless thing in the world. Your son is not robot. You can't expect he'll do whatever you tell. He knows what's right and wrong. You manipulate him so well, Emily. But he's not your son anymore. He's my husband.
Okay, you succeed in brainwashing my son. You two mustn't come back my house again. Let's see how are you two doing in the future.
Are you out of your mind, Emily? What's your house? You moved into living with me right after the wedding. I bought that house for me and my husband.
Whatever. I'm not going anywhere.
Right, you can stay. I know I can't force you to go just by words. So I come up with an idea. But I've just sold that house for a new owner. They are coming to renovate the house. Don't you think they let you stay, Emily?
What the heck are you saying? You sold that house?
Yeah. I have the right because I'm the owner.
But what about the furniture and stuffs?
I don't care. You can bring or sell it for some else to earn some money. I and my husband will live with my sister now. We never come back to that house.
Hold on a second, Ruby. I know I'm so wrong now. I regret what I've done. This old woman is begging you for your forgiveness. I don't want to come back the countryside. I'm afraid of living a poor life again.
Huh? Yeah, when you live in my house, you are like a queen. But how I can do now, I sold my house already.
Over the years, I've come to realize that I've treated you unfairly. As if you were nothing more than a servant in this household. I want to sincerely apologize for my behavior. I've come to understand the depth of the pain I've caused you. You've been a lovely daughter-in-law. I failed to recognize your worth beyond household chores and responsibilities. I see now that I have taken you for granted. You must be feeling unappreciated and constantly burdened.
What? How you can be two-faced like that?
No, Ruby. I'm telling what I think. I regret now. I've also realized that my behavior stemmed from the fear of losing control as my role in the family shifted. I now see that our relationship can be so much more than that. I want to be a mother figure to you, a confidant, and a friend.
Okay, you should have become a director. Your words is so incredible. But I don't change my mind. For what you've done to me, I can't forgive you.
Please, Ruby.
Don't you think your faults are easily forgiven?
I know, but no one doesn't make mistake. I believe if you forgive me, we can go back like we used to be.
It's so ridiculous, my great mother. We used to be in a relationship between master and servant. Nothing's happy here. You must be out of your mind, Emily. I have to rest now. My headache is coming back. I don't want to waste my time talking with you. So never contact me or my husband again.
Please, Ruby. Ruby.
We cut ties with my mother-in-law and now we're on our own. I started to live in a rather small house, but having a rather blessed life. A much better life and looks quite rejuvenated. It makes me feel better. Emily would never know how to treat another human being with respect. And she needs to take what she deserved.
David, I will be hospitalized for 2 weeks.
You're going to be hospitalized?
It turned out that I have a fractured hip.
What the injury that's serious? I thought you just fell down the stairs of my parents' house.
Just fell down? It was a serious fall.
I guess. But you were just clumsy again. The stairs of my parents' house aren't that steep.
Aren't you supposed to worry about me?
I am worried. I'll come visit you in the hospital when I come back from my business trip.
Okay. So you'll be here in 3 days?
I think so.
Hey. There's something I want to tell you about the accident.
What is it?
You might not want to hear this, but your mother is the reason I fell down the stairs.
My mom is the reason? What do you mean?
I haven't told you about this. But your mother dislikes me. She's been harassing me since we got married.
What? But she invited you to their house and you visit her often. She invited you again this time again, didn't she?
Yes, but every time she did, she would boss me around. She would also pick at me. She would say things like she doesn't accept me as your wife.
That's the reason you fell down the stairs.
I fell down the stairs because she handed me many pieces of luggage on the landing. She piled up so many pieces of luggage on my arms that I couldn't see anything in front of me. Then she told me to carry them downstairs and pushed me.
But it was just an accident.
What?
You said my mom pushed you. But she didn't push you that hard, did she?
No, but the thing is, I did fall down the stairs.
Even so, that's not a good enough reason to blame her. Are you saying that she pushed you intentionally?
I'm not sure about it. But she does dislike me.
Even if she did, she wouldn't push you down the stairs. She is my mom.
Have a little trust in her.
Plus, it's common for the mother-in-law to dislike a daughter-in-law.
I've been distressed about it. I was sad and miserable having been told hurtful things.
It hasn't been a year since we married, I'm sure you have disagreements. She was just nagging at you. That's not a good enough reason to blame her for you falling down the stairs.
She also kicked me before when I was cleaning.
She kicked me? Perhaps her leg just bumped against you. Her sight could have been blocked.
It didn't seem so. That's why I'm telling you about it.
You two seemed to be getting along well when we visited their house together. What happened?
It's partly my fault because I didn't speak out. But I didn't because I wanted your mother to accept me. I just wanted to get along with her. But after this accident, I realized that it will never happen.
Mia, why don't you try making a compromise?
I should make a compromise?
My mom raised me, and I know she's not the kind of person who would do such a thing behind my back. She is not the kind of person who would hold a grudge, she's rather the opposite. First of all, she's never said anything bad about you. I'm honestly shocked to hear you blame my mom for the accident.
I'm just telling you what happened.
Still, it's also your fault that you fell down the stairs.
It may be, but...
See? You shouldn't put the blame on my mom.
You don't believe me?
It's not about if I believe you or not. I'm just telling you my opinion from my perspective. Do you have proof that my mom harassed you?
No, but...
I thought so. I will believe you if you showed me proof. It's a matter of perception that you feel harassed. You're just taking things too personally. I don't want to believe you based on your one-sided story.
Okay. I won't talk about this again.
It's okay as long as you understood. She's my mother, I just want you to get along with her. Any family has in-law issues. You should learn to deal with it. It's an emergency. My mom got into an accident.
Seriously? Is she okay?
Fortunately, the injury was not life-threatening. But she broke her arm. She'll need care at home for a while.
I see.
And I want you to care for her. She broke her good arm and has an injury on the other. She can't do things on her own. She will leave the hospital in 2 days.
Wait. Do you want me to take care of her?
I have work, you know. You are a stay-at-home wife. And you're fully recovered now, aren't you?
I am, but... I don't want to take care of her.
What? Do you still believe that she pushed you down the stairs?
It's not just about her pushing me down the stairs. I told you I didn't want to go to your parents' house again. I don't want to experience anything like the accident again. It would be best for me and your mother to not see each other.
My mom came to our house and cooked for us when you couldn't do the chores. But you're not going to help her in return when she's injured? I don't remember any issues occurring for the past couple of months. Or did my mom harass you behind my back?
I never asked her to come to her house. She didn't harass me only because you told her. You told her everything. I can't believe you told her everything I said.
I told her everything to confirm the facts. Was that a problem?
She's been playing a perfect mother-in-law in front of you. Couldn't you imagine what would happen if he told her everything? That you would put me in jeopardy? No bully would answer yes when asked if they're a bully.
Are we still talking about it? Show me proof of harassment first.
You killed the opportunity for me to show you proof. At any rate, I'm not going to their house. You should take a paid leave if she needs care.
I hate to say something like this. But who do you think is putting a roof over your head? No son wants to hear someone say bad things about his own mother.
I didn't want to say things like this. But I shouldn't put my life in danger to keep the truth from you. I thought you would believe me. I gathered the courage to tell you everything.
Anyway, you will care for my mom. Fulfill your responsibility as my wife.
I can't care for someone who's been harassing me.
The decision is final. Care for her even if you don't want to. If you can't, I'll have to think about a divorce.
Do you want a divorce? Because I don't care for your mother?
It's not because of my mom. Don't blame her for everything. Maybe the truth is that you dislike my mom. Not the other way around.
I'm so done. I will not care for your mother no matter what. I will not listen to you.
Mia! You're going to care for my mom. Go to their house the day after tomorrow.
2 days later.
Mia. My mom called me. She told me you haven't gone to their house yet.
I told you I would never go to their house, remember? She must be fine on her own if she can use her phone. She's not hospitalized like I was.
I don't know if my mom harassed you or not. But just forget about it. I will seriously get a divorce if you don't go to care for her. I'm telling you. I will get a divorce right now.
Are you sure? Then let's get a divorce today.
What?
I've been thinking that a divorce would be the only solution. I already got the papers ready. I will sign the papers right now.
Hold on. Are we actually getting a divorce?
Yeah? You said you wanted a divorce too, didn't you? You said do you do it right now?
I only said it because you weren't going to care for my mom.
I will never, ever take care of your mother. So I'll get a divorce just like you said.
Are you serious right now?
I wouldn't get a divorce as a joke. Would you? You brought up a divorce because that's what you wanted.
I wasn't going to get a divorce if you would care for my mom.
I said I will not. Don't make me say the same thing over and over again.
Are you sure you want to get a divorce over such a trivial thing?
Wow, look who's talking. You brought up a divorce.
I did, but
I don't consider it a trivial matter. Your mother has been harassing me since we got married and I've endured it. I made every effort to get along with her. But things didn't change for the better, and I fell down the stairs and got injured. I gathered the courage to tell you about the harassment, but you didn't believe me. Not only that, but you also put a blame on me.
I didn't see my mom harassing you.
I'm fed up with your attitude of not taking me seriously. Your mother's harassment led me to think about a divorce. But you're ultimately the reason I want a divorce.
Hold on. We should rethink a divorce.
Why?
I can't wrap my head around this.
You are the one who wanted a divorce. It's too late now. I'm going to leave home. Let me know when you fill out the divorce papers.
No, wait. Let's talk it out when I get home. So please don't leave home.
No! I want a divorce! I came to the conclusion that I can't stay married to you anymore.
I'm sorry. I wasn't serious about getting a divorce. I just wanted you to care for my mom.
You thought you could control me if you brought up a divorce? You thought I would do anything you tell me because I'm a stay-at-home housewife living off your salary.
I didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to what? That's exactly why you brought up a divorce. I'm not your slave or your mother's. I don't want to be forced to do anything against my will or put up with a crappy marriage. I didn't get married to be provided for by you.
My words came off the wrong way. I'm sorry.
That's not the point. I told you about being pushed down the stairs and being harassed. But you never took me seriously and assumed that I was overthinking. You told your mother everything I said without understanding our relationship. You're the worst husband for me.
I was inconsiderate.
You weren't inconsiderate. You knew what was going on and still decided to ignore it. Your mother didn't say mean things to me obviously when you were around. But she served me a different meal than the rest of you every time we went to their house. Whenever she'd bring a gift, she'd only give it to you. Don't act like you don't know it.
I thought she just favored me because I'm her son.
Would you still think so if you were in my place? If you went to my parents' house and all of us were eating a nice steak, but they only served you soup and bread, would you not feel miserable?
I'm sorry. But I thought every family had some in-law issues.
So was I supposed to just endure it? Even if I was pushed down the stairs? Oh, right. You assumed that I just fell down the stairs by myself because I don't have a proof. That's what you believe.
Mia, I'm sorry. I will pay more attention from now on. I won't ask you to care for my mom. It was all my fault. Please forgive me.
My ex-husband and I discussed it for over a month and finally came to the agreement to get a divorce. I couldn't demand him compensation as he didn't cheat on me or anything. But I received an adequate amount of property as part of the divorce settlement and do not regret my decision. What makes me happier is that I have nothing to do with him and his mother now. Word on the street is that the relationship between him and his mother has worsened since the divorce. His mother blamed him for not having a knife for women. He blamed his mother for the divorce. I will never forgive his mother for harassing me. But what was more unforgivable to me was his attitude. He will keep making the same mistake again until he realizes his problems. I've been staying at my parents' house after the divorce and taking the time to heal my wounds. Having said that, I can't dwell in the past forever, so I started looking for a job. I still feel annoyed whenever I think about him and his mother. But I won't let them get in my way. I decided to get over it and move on and be happier than them. That's what I believe is the best revenge against them.
Good morning, Quinn. Hope you will be fine. Sorry for texting when you were busy. I spoke with Barrett yesterday and there are a few things I need to confirm with you.
Oh, good morning, Maya. How is your morning? What can I do for you? I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Oh, my morning could be much better, I will say a lot. This wedding of yours, Barrett told me you will buy an apartment together. Is that correct? Don't you think it's right to tell your mother-in-law? I feel very disrespected by this.
Oh. Did Barrett talk to you about that? Right. We are quite excited about our new home. We are looking for a place where we can see the ocean. It was a small marriage goal of ours.
What nonsense are you saying now? If I remember correctly, the two promised to move into a well-built house.
Oh, that's right. I remember saying something like that. Can you give me a few days to think about it? I'm so sorry you felt disrespected, Maya. I assure you that was not my intention.
What do you mean when you think back? You have no right to do that. I will recall your memory. One of the conditions for you to marry Barrett is that you live together in a suitable house.
Yes, I know well. Thanks for pointing that out. It's just, we're always thinking about living by the sea. You know, Barrett and I, we love to surf. That would be the best lifestyle for married life.
What are you doing, girl? I was looking forward to living in the same area as my new son and daughter. Surely you already know that? Today, I will contact a construction company to start building a new house. Let's get rid of this silly idea to live near the sea.
Construction company? That's a bit of a rush, don't you think? The wedding is still quite far away. I think it's best to postpone it.
Okay, you're right. I won't call the construction company today, but at least you can see how excited I am for this wedding. Why not buy an apartment? You must also consider your mother-in-law if you are going to marry my boy.
Yes, sure, Maya. I'll talk to Barrett about the kind of place we should live. It's important that he knows how you feel.
Barrett understood and listened to her mother best. We chatted yesterday and he knows what is expected of him. Just stay away, Miss Quinn. Don't think just because you're his new wife he'll start putting you above his biological mother.
Yes, Maya. I will keep what you said in mind.
Quinn, I want you to come this weekend. You cannot say no.
Definitely, Maya. Thank you for inviting me. If I may ask, could something happen?
Very good news. A representative from the construction company will arrive later this week. We will have a meeting together and discuss the type of house we are thinking of building. The representative asked the young couple present to comment on the style they were interested in.
Okay, I understand. Barrett and I will be there that day.
That's not it, Quinn. I still have one last item to grab your attention. After much thought, I have decided that a shared house is not the best living arrangement. Why not build a house for the mother-in-law to live with?
You mean instead of the house being split into two, it's just a house?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Not impossible, but where did this idea come from? I think you're happy to live in a separate house with Barrett and me.
I was too at first, but if you think about it rightly, a single health is a better choice. To have a house for two, you will need to renovate, right? The costs to do so would be very high. With a single house, all you have to do is make a few adjustments here and there, and the house will be complete.
I got it. A home for everyone to live in. It is an idea that I will talk about as much.
Not only that, it also benefits you, right? You will leave all the housework to your mother-in-law. It's a housework ready for you. With that job, you'll have time to focus on your career. It's a huge plus for your daily lifestyle.
Yes. Thank you, Maya. You're right.
Good. I guess I have your approval. So this weekend, I expect you and Barrett to be here at 10 a.m. Don't be late or the rep and I will be very angry.
Yes. Thank you, Maya. We will be there.
Good morning, Quinn. What is your morning? Thank you for yesterday's conversation. Did I wake up too late? Sorry if I woke you up. I am very excited for today.
Good morning, Maya. Do not worry. The meeting with the construction company representative took longer than expected. I'm okay, though. I had a lot of sleep and feel good today. Is there anything I can do for you this morning?
Well, I was thinking about the cost of the house. The agent gave us a pretty high price for the construction. What do you say we split the bill equally between us? That seems fair since we are living in the same house.
Is there anything I can do for you this morning?
There is a split fee. You heard how much the man would charge us. That fee is unreasonably high. My husband and I are retired and living on a meager pension. Surely you will not burden us with this financial burden.
I understand, Maya. Pensions don't pay much. On the other hand, Barrett and I also have our own circumstances. The wedding is going to cost quite a bit and I'm not sure how much we can pay for this luxury home.
Yes, I know. I hosted my own wedding and it will puncture your pocket. I'm sorry, but getting a pension really leaves you penniless. I would have to ask you to cut back on wedding luxuries and invest in the house instead.
Instead, why not give up the idea of living together? There is no point in trying to renovate an old house. Barrett and I are quite happy living in a simple house. What do you think, Maya?
What now? Giving up on home renovation? Impossible. You think you can live in an old house without remodeling it. It is your decision, so you are free to do as you please. However, if I were you, I would renovate an older house before living in it.
No, Maya. I'm not talking about giving up on the idea of family reform. I'm talking about giving up on living together in the first place. Is that so bad?
Of course. Barrett is the eldest son. It is his duty to take care of his parents. Don't ask such a silly question.
I totally understand that's what you believe, Maya. I really do. As you get older, Barrett and I have an obligation to help you and his father in everyday life. I was just thinking, is it necessary to start living together now? Barrett and I are pretty good people. We will be able to help when you need it. First we talked about a shared house, now we are talking about living in the same house. I think we are acting too hastily.
No. That logic won't hold, baby. I'll say it again, but Barrett is the eldest. He will live with his parents the same way his father and I lived with our parents.
Okay, Maya. What about Matthew? He is currently unmarried and will be able to take better care of you than we do.
Matthew? Unreasonable. He's hardly a man. He hasn't even completed his college education. On top of that, he's looking for work right now. He has no free time.
Okay, I understand, Maya. Here is another alternative. What if we moved closer to where you live? We can find apartments closest to the train station closest to your home. That way, if you need something, we can come right away.
That won't work, or I'm afraid. We live together, and that's it. When I moved in with my husband, that was what I had to do. It wouldn't be fair if you weren't as polite as me.
Yes, Maya. I know. Then again, times are changing and there are many couples who are living separately from their parents. It's not a new thing, I'm sure you'll get used to it in time.
Why are you so careless? Don't you see the importance of living together? That's how families are formed. Without that connection, we are basically strangers.
I must disagree with you, Maya. Not only that, your house is located quite far from where I have to work. I'm not sure I can walk that distance.
And? That's the sacrifice you have to make for marriage. Didn't you also say you want to live near the sea? I can't imagine it's close to your workplace, so you can't use that as an excuse.
Actually, Barrett and I found it and it's much closer than you think. Using the subway takes less than half an hour. That's a pretty manageable gap. From your home there are a lot of trains and the possibility of delays in trains. I'm not sure it would be a good idea to live in that area.
You have a lot of bad things to say about living together, don't you? Talking about your workplace, where exactly is it?
It's in the city center.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it won't take more than an hour.
Yes, that's true. The train itself takes an hour, but getting there from your house takes a considerable amount of time. After getting on the train, there are 2 other trains I have to get on and it can cause me to be late for work.
Oh, I'm sure you'll figure it out. There are many ways to solve that problem. You can take the train earlier to start. Okay, do you really think it's that simple?
You're not the commuter, but me, so I'll be the judge of how difficult it is to get there.
Let me think about this for you. Okay, here's how. My husband has a car. He will be happy to take you to the train station every day. What do you think? Pretty good, isn't it? Problem solved.
Your husband? No, I can't bother him for something like that, sorry.
Why? Of course you can. The man is living a quiet and non-stimulating lifestyle. He wants a chance to pass the time and take you out in the morning.
Okay, I still think it's too much to ask.
Let's not be confused about what we are doing. Remodeling is the best course of action. I'll let Barrett know. No need to talk to him about it.
Do I have a say in this?
Good morning, Quinn.
Oh, good morning, Maya. How are you today? Is there anything I can do for you this morning?
Do not talk to me. Barrett hasn't told you yet. That boy is too slow.
Told me what? What happened?
You won't like this, dear. My hand is broken. So is my right arm. I had to ride with weaker arms, and it was a nightmare.
Oh no. This is the first time I've heard of it. Barrett didn't tell me anything.
It seems that age is getting better and better to me. It happened yesterday while I was shopping. I slipped and landed on my arm. It is quite painful.
Are you okay? That hurt even me. I hope you have the proper treatment for it.
Of course I'm fine. I'm pretty old now, which would have been a lot less painful if I was younger. Anyway, because of that, I have a favor to ask. In my current condition, I can't even eat my dinner. I was hoping you could help me.
Yes. I like Maya. Except today, I'm very busy. I'm free next Wednesday and Friday. How about I visit then?
I'm sorry. I need you today. You can stay overnight as well. I'll let my husband prepare a little for you.
Overnight stay? It was a bit inconvenient for me.
Yes, I need you here. Do not talk to me. Are you the type to turn your back on your family? If so, I will have to warn my son Barrett to think twice before this wedding.
No, of course I'm not that kind of person. I have a lot today at work. It is very difficult to make time even just to relax. There's been so many meetings lately, it's hard to keep up.
So you're saying that meetings take precedence over family? When you get married and we live together, we'll be officially married, you realize. Is this what I was supposed to expect when we started living together? The future together is looking bleak. I'll need to talk to Barrett as soon as possible.
Okay, I give up. I'll be there tonight until you get well. I'm not sure how I'm going to get through the job.
Actually? I will tell my husband right now.
By the way, how long will it take until you fully recover? I must return to work as soon as you are healed.
The doctor said it would take up to 3 months.
3 months is a long time. I don't think this will happen to me.
It is much more difficult for me to wash with one hand. This is a good opportunity. You can just move in tonight and don't have to worry about moving in later. At the end of the day, you will be our daughter, right?
But the repair is not done yet? Wouldn't it be best to wait?
The situation is too perilous. We will have to scrap the remodeling plan. If we start living together, we can work things out from there.
Are you okay, Maya? This doesn't sound like a good idea.
Do not worry. I have a plan in mind.
Right. If you say so. I will trust you.
I will see you tonight then. Don't forget your pajamas.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, Quinn. What time will you be coming home today?
From the looks of things, I should be leaving the office at around 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
That's way too late. That would mean you'd get here after 10 p.m. What are we supposed to do for dinner? We should be eating it together?
I had a feeling things would be busy at work today, so I bought a dinner in advance. Sorry, I can't be there for a family dinner. If you look in the cupboard, there should be some lasagna to heat up in the microwave. It's not optimal, but it's quite tasty.
Are you insane? We never eat that junk in this house. I'd like a proper dinner tonight, thank you.
If that's upsetting for you, you don't have to eat it. You can go buy whatever you feel like eating. Pizza, deli, whatever, take out what you want. I'll leave it up to you.
Quinn, are you inclined to be a good wife or not?
What do you mean inclined? Of course I am. Why do you think I'm going out of my way to live here and help you? I'm extremely busy with work. We're experiencing the busiest time of the year. I have to spend more time at work than usual. Can you take that into consideration, please?
What about the laundry? Is that not important too? All I hear is work, work, work.
I'll get to it when I get home. If it's that important, I don't know why you don't get Matthew to do it. He's old enough, he should be capable. He's also on holidays, so why not?
Out of the question. I will not intrude on his activities. Do you know how hard even the smallest one is trying to find a job? This is the most important part of his life. What will he do now change the trajectory of his life?
You say he's having a hard time without realizing I'm having a hard time too. Matthew doesn't even have a job yet. I have multiple jobs depending on how well I run my company. He should be able to participate in at least the laundry duty.
He really is an obnoxious child. You try to turn the tables on me. I can say that you just hate taking care of me. You won't tell me straight, but I can read between the lines.
I didn't say anything like that. I have been polite and obedient the whole time. Don't worry, I get it. I don't think it would be good if I stayed there any longer. I will go home as soon as I can. Sorry if I have bothered you.
That will do just fine. Thank. By the way, I don't see any food for tomorrow's meal. What did you plan to do?
I will get something delivered. My work is very busy, I won't have time to prepare anything tomorrow.
Unacceptable. You have to look at the food and judge for yourself whether the quality matches the strength. I'm an old woman, I can't eat food that will make me sick. The supermarket in front of the station is open until 11 p.m. Why don't you come in and buy something for tomorrow?
Okay. I'll do that. Thanks for letting me know. I have to do some documents for an upcoming meeting. I have to go apologize. I will go home tonight. See you later.
Yes, yes. Make sure you get home as soon as possible. Quinn, how are you? Thank you for shopping last night. I can see you bought a lot. I was just looking at what's in here and got this piece of meat. I'm not sure why you bought it. What do you want to make with these thin slices of meat? It's not like it would be used in a decent meal.
Thank you for sending a message to Maya. I'm sorry I had to leave so early this morning. Very busy with work as usual. Meat? It's turkey bacon. It's much leaner than regular bacon. It's quite delicious, I hope you like it.
Turkey bacon? It better be good? I'm not going to do anything with this ridiculously thin piece of meat. Don't you think something like marinated pork chops would be a much more enjoyable dinner?
Oh yes. Pork chops are also delicious.
While we're talking about food, I'd better mention fried eggs this morning. It was extremely salty. Are you trying to give me an early grave? I like my eggs unsalted. Did I say this before? Don't make me into a salty clown anymore.
My bad. I'm so sorry. I will remember for next time. Thanks for letting me know.
Wait. You have not completed the task yet. I also have something to say about the way you do your laundry. The way you hang your laundry now, you can hang it out in the sun and it still won't dry. Obviously, your parents haven't taught you the basics of housework. Don't worry, next weekend I'll give you a proper lesson.
Okay, I see. Sorry for that.
What time will you go home tonight? I hope you won't make any more excuses about work.
Sorry, Maya, but I'll be back late today too. Today I assigned Barrett and Matthew to cook the stew together. It's their favorite dish, so it must be delicious.
What now? Barrett is working a lot lately. He'd rather go to sleep than waste his energy cooking. As for Matthew, I'll have to say for the millionth time that he's busy. He won't get a job if he cooks stew every day. You've given the cooking to two of the busiest people we know. You really are something, Quinn. Is it that hard to cook for yourself?
I understand, but I'm busy myself. You know, I told you already. I'm not married to Barrett, so I don't know why I always have to go home early. We haven't even seen anything official yet.
That has nothing to do with this. You cannot use it as a shield forever. It's like figuring out whether the chicken came first or the egg came first. It doesn't really matter if an obligation towards your family comes first or not.
Look, they already bought the ingredients. Can you give it a pass? It will only be one night. Guys are pretty good at it too. They can cook dinner in no time.
Despite that, I can understand Barrett's trouble, but Matthew really has no right to waste time cooking. He told me that he found it very difficult to get a new job. He started to become very bitter and angry. It is affecting lives beyond the job search. I am sure that the idea of cooking will be a great inconvenience for him. Try thinking about how those two feel instead of yourself for once.
An inconvenience, I wish you hadn't told me that. What's the problem in distributing the workload around the house? It doesn't sound fair if everything is up to me.
You know why that's a problem. Don't try to act like you're in an unfair position. As a wife, there are times when you have to grit your teeth, roll up your sleeves, and get work done. I knew that well before I got married, and you should too.
I think the same thing if I didn't have a job. I would do the amazing job of doing housework. Unfortunately, I'm just one person.
Check your priorities. If it's that hard, you'll have to give up your precious work. How important is this so-called work? It doesn't seem like a big deal to me.
You don't have to be too rude about it. This is what I am most interested in.
Putting your work in front of the house doesn't make sense. You should take care of the housework first and then focus on work. Not the opposite direction.
Maya, I can see how much housework means a lot to you. If we move in together, won't you have more time to do housework? You offered to do it yourself.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. You are clearly a Quinn working woman. You are not a wife. How can you raise children? You need to focus on women's work, not men's.
When the time comes, I will adapt my life to that situation. Although not officially married, I want to prioritize my work and get it done well. If that foundation is built well, I will be able to return to work after the baby is born. I have a plan for what I'm doing.
Again, with an uncompromising attitude. I've been following you for the past few days. I understand your level of ability. You are really sloppy in taking care of your family. Even so, do you keep talking about doing a good job? Don't make me laugh, girl. Prove that you're a great employee at keeping the place organized.
Yes. I will, Maya.
Don't push your responsibility on my children, do you understand? Especially about Matthew. He's having the worst of all.
Yes, I understand that.
Quinn, I have great news to tell you. Today I went to see the surgeon for my arm. I have fully recovered. Feeling great. It's been a long struggle. I'm so glad it's over.
Great. I'm glad to hear that, Maya. Not only that, but full recovery. With this new development, I'm going home tonight. I hate to interfere in your business anymore. Thanks for the time together.
Yes, that will be fine. I have a request when you leave. Consider this the last time you step foot in my house. I don't want to see you here again.
Sorry? What are you saying, Maya? I do not understand.
Do I need to say it again? Don't come back here. You do not want. I am telling you to end relations with this household.
What? Why do you say that?
We have been living together for 3 months and I have come to this conclusion. A woman of your ability is not up to standard. You cannot live in this house. Barrett is the eldest son and will have to live here. I wanted someone more capable and managed a house, and it wasn't you.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's like you haven't understood anything in the past 3 months. When I get married, I will have more time to do housework. It is not possible to work and take care of the house at the same time. The busy season is almost over. Now I will go home at the appropriate time.
Oh, work. That's the problem with you, Quinn. You'd rather die than cut yourself off from work. Family is also work, do you realize? Family is real work.
I am fully aware that family is a job that needs to be done well. Even so, I've done a lot of projects for my actual work. I cannot neglect my responsibilities to fulfill them. My colleagues are counting on me to get the job done and do it well.
If that's the bad attitude you're going to have, then I'm afraid marriage isn't for you. For the past 3 months, I have barely noticed you are here or not. You get almost nothing done, and that shows when you look at how much unfinished business there is.
How can you say that? I took care of you while your arm was broken. I'm doing the best I can in this situation. There is a lot of pressure from work as well as family.
Your excuses have no effect on me. I really worry about my husband and I as we get older and weaker. I can't imagine our happiness is safe in your hands. I will sit at home worrying every day whether you put family above work or work above family. This is a real concern of mine.
Your fracture unfortunately coincides with the busy season at my work. It's a rather peculiar circumstance that is not representative of what everyday life will be like in the future. Besides, I haven't seen the curry in the cupboard used, which means you haven't eaten it even once.
The family is full of unexpected situations. At those times, you have to sacrifice your selfish desires to take care of your family. Even if we don't have to eat that disgusting curry, if I don't say anything, you'll happily squeeze it down our throats, won't you? That kind of behavior won't happen in this family. We need a suitable woman to fulfill my role as my son's wife. Sorry, Quinn, but you don't fit that role.
I'm so sorry you feel that way. I did the best I could. The most important thing is what Barrett has to say about this. He's the one who married me.
Now you should understand. Barrett never went against his mother. He was a little upset about it, but quickly realized that it was for the better. He knows he'll find a better woman out there.
Is that what you said? I was very sad to hear that.
By the way, there's no point in talking to Barrett about that either. This is something that we have decided as a family. We had a meeting together. Pause the wedding and wait for the worst. Barrett almost threw you away. We don't need a useless woman taking up space in this house. Come back after you realize what your real job is.
I get it. So sorry. Hello, Maya. Are you doing well? Let's ditch the niceties. I don't need to act all courteous with you anymore. Now I'll be able to get straight to the point without wasting precious time pretending to be a good daughter-in-law.
What is it? Careful with the way you talk to me.
Oh, is it bothering you? Just let you know the wedding has been cancelled and I've also ended my engagement with Barrett. Good news, right?
Don't waste my time, girl. I've already talked with Barrett about that. Anything worth my time, or can I get back to what I was doing?
Barrett and I have officially ended, and as a result I have withdrawn Matthew's application to our company.
His job application? What are you talking about?
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Quinn, the manager of human resources at the Center for Commercial Affairs. I would like to inform you the results of Matthew's recent interview with us. I'm sorry to say we've decided he's not fit for the company.
What now? You could have offered him a job, but you've decided not to?
We hope the best for Matthew's efforts in finding a job elsewhere.
Enough with the fake formalities!
It's my job to present this information in a professional manner.
Are you actually working at the Center of Commercial Affairs?
Oh. Did I forget to tell you? My apologies for that. Or maybe you've been told before and don't want to know what your daughter-in-law is up to or who. You expressed concern for his failure to find a new job and I sympathize with his plight. I value my family, so I have forwarded this application to them all.
You love talking with that smug attitude, don't you?
Didn't I say anything silly? That is all truth. Such a poorly educated person will never stand a chance with our company. It's a pretty good opportunity for him. On the subject of education, shall we talk about me? My university is one of the top in the country. I graduated with the best score in my class.
I do not know that. I also don't care to know it.
Matthew sobbed about how fruitless his search efforts were. I did my best for him. Because he is family and I value family even if you think otherwise. Now that I have annulled my engagement and I have nothing to do with him, now he is nothing but a stranger to me. As a result, the only connection he had when joining a company was now severed. Poor boy.
How can you? Think about what will happen to him. Now he has to start from scratch. Do you realize how much he talks about the heart of commercial affairs? The boy is very proud. This news will break him down.
Let it rest, Maya. Nothing will change my mind now.
Okay, Quinn. I endorse your wedding to Barrett. That's what you want, isn't it? In return, you let Matthew pass the recruitment. He's a good guy, he deserves the best.
I will not do that. We decided this at a meeting. Human Resources is not interested in hiring someone with a background like Matthew. Not only that, I have direct orders from you not to go to that house a second time and I want to respect your wishes. I apologize for being so focused on work. I know it's on your mind every day. You are stuck at home all day thinking you will meet the worst outcome. Around that time, I had a lot of new college graduates. Every day is interview after interview. It was a struggle to find new people while taking care of the family.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that, Quinn. Come back. I would be happy to have you at home.
No, I'm not interested.
Well, how about the common house? We don't have to live in the same house. We can be like neighbors who live next to each other. Or just do whatever you like. You can have a house overlooking the beach. That's your dream, isn't it? Chase it.
No, that won't convince me. I didn't know Barrett was the type of man who unconsciously listened to his mother. This interaction with you is very beneficial in deciding whether to continue or terminate our commitment. I would never marry a guy like that. Thank you for revealing Barrett's true nature to me. My best wishes to Matthew. Though that won't do him any good. I was able to end my relationship with that household and I couldn't be happier. Barrett begged me to rethink my decision, and I think he felt lost without my love. I insist he should be satisfied with his mother's love because she cares for him so much. With that, I blocked him as a last resort to sever ties with that family. In the end, without any distractions, I put all my efforts to work. Even today I had a full day at work. Oh. There's a little story about what happened to Matthew's app. Matthew was very pleased with my assistance in helping him find a new job. He eventually expressed concern that he was not a good fit for our work life and withdrew his application.
Make a point of stopping by before you go to bed tonight. I need assistance cleaning my bathrooms because I cannot inhale bleach at this age. In addition, the guest plates and silverware require polishing.
Hello, Mrs. Ella. I believe there was some type of misunderstanding. David and I have just checked out of our hotel and are on our way to the airport to begin our honeymoon. We are unable to come to your home to clean your bathroom. Is this some sort of joke? Ella, are you attempting to haze us?
Oh, I never make jokes. Never, ever undercut me like that again. It does not appeal to me. As a family elder, I'm providing you instructions. All you have to do is say yes, ma'am, and come do what I say. Nowadays, there are a lot of young people. They are devoid of common sense. As the newest member of this family, I would have preferred that you take the initiative to find something to do right away. But I can let it go this time. I understand you're still on a high from your wedding. Now that you're my daughter-in-law, you're as good as my personal assistant. Don't worry about your honeymoon. I told David to cancel the flight, so stop being so foolish and come here right away.
What do you mean? You forced David to cancel our honeymoon? Why would you do such a thing? Why would David do such a thing? It wasn't just his honeymoon, it was ours as well. I even covered half of the costs. He can make the decision to cancel it on his own? Why wouldn't he talk to me first?
Obviously, because he values my wishes over yours. After all, I am his mother, you know. I carried him for 9 months, gave birth to him, and reared him for the rest of his life. He's also always been a good mama's son. He has never, ever said no to me. All I had to say to him was that I was sorry and upset to watch him go on a trip to the Bahamas when I had never even left the country. David, my lovely child, called your airline and canceled your tickets right away. He even promised to take me somewhere much nicer in the near future. He didn't tell you about it, did he? It doesn't matter. I'll be expecting you in the next 3 hours.
This is unbelievable. I have no idea what to say. I'm completely at a loss for words. I can't believe I bought into David's machismo. I would never have said yes to his proposal if I had realized he was such a mama's boy. Not to mention a first date. He makes such a big deal about how much he despises mama's boys. He used to yell at his pals whenever their mothers were mentioned. Was it all a ruse? I had a feeling something was wrong. At times, he seemed to go too far. You two are the best showman mother-son duo, aren't you? What happened to my wonderful, warm, and welcome new mother-in-law, whom I had grown to love and appreciate? She appears to have vanished as soon as the wedding vows were read.
What else can I say? I needed help around the house, and who better to ask than my daughter-in-law? You were a perfect target. I've never seen such low-hanging fruit. Especially when you're as eager to satisfy everyone you meet for the first time as you are. It was basically a no-brainer. Would you have married David if I had showed my true colors from the start? Obviously not. You wouldn't have gone on a date, as you stated. Please don't take it personally, Zelda. Everything is for the sake of this family. Plus, if you're lucky enough to have a boy, like me, you will be richly rewarded later in life when you become a mother-in-law. Isn't that something to be excited about? It's all part of the female life cycle. You are powerless to stop it. So come on over so I can start teaching you all you need to know about being a good housewife from the ground up.
Housewife classes? Is this the 1940s? I can handle things around the house just well, thank you. I don't see why I should need your help. Is your residence unique in comparison to others? Is your ship an alien craft?
Hush. You don't know the first thing about how this family operates. Each family has its own set of traditions, recipes, and regulations. I'm sure your mother had her own recipe for mashed potatoes, didn't she? Time to learn how we prepare potatoes. Now that you're a member of our family, it's your job to carry on our traditions. I'm afraid you have a long way to go.
I have eaten your potatoes. They're a little lumpy for my liking. And if you're such a stickler for family customs, why would you reveal them to an outsider like me? Why don't you schedule cooking for your moms and your dear David? I simply don't agree with the traditional way of life in which the woman is expected to perform all of the housekeeping. Those days are long gone, Ella. I went to college, like your son, and I have a job, like your son. I'm not going to come home from a long day at work to cook, clean, and coddle a guy who refuses to do anything.
Don't tell me you're going to keep your job. That is absurd. You are now a married woman. Can't you go out and work like a man? This is completely inappropriate. Your responsibilities are now at home. Be a nice wife to your spouse by bearing as many children as possible. Besides, your work doesn't pay as much as David's. What exactly are you, a secretary? I'm sure you prepare coffee and smile at coworkers. That is not work. You can always do that for me and your father-in-law right here.
I actually earn significantly more than David. I have 2 degrees from a university that is far superior to Kevin's alma mater. I'm offended by your assumption about my employment. Please do not dismiss my hard-earned position in life. I put forth a lot of effort to get to where I am now.
That's all there is to it for the time being. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm your in-law's mom. You must obey me. Hold on to every word as though it were the gospel. Did your parents teach you anything worthwhile? Stop yapping about quitting your job and coming over to my house to sit so I can teach you your place. Or else.
Thank you, but no. I'll decline. That appears to be the worst deal ever.
What? Have you gone insane? Do you not recognize the gravity of the situation? You're getting on my nerves, young missy. If you don't want to be divorced the day after your wedding, you should follow my advice.
That doesn't seem so bad now, does it? Actually, it doesn't sound too bad.
Nonsense. You have no idea what you're talking about. This is not the time to bluff. I'm not foolish, and I'm not going to fall for it. When a woman divorces, her value plummets. She's damaged beyond repair. Men truly mature like great wines. Their worth increases when they develop their own style, earn more money, amass more assets, and so on. But it's like driving a brand new automobile off the lot, ladies. When it hits the ground, it loses more than half of its value. Do you really have no concept of how the world works? Thank heavens I'm here to help you get through it all. You're quite fortunate.
I believe you are unaware of how things function. At least in this universe, in this era. For Christ's sake, it's 2022. Yes, David and I did have a wedding ceremony and celebration. Sure, we had almost 200 people there to witness our vows. But we haven't yet submitted any paperwork to City Hall. That was our plan after our honeymoon. I didn't want to cope with the tension and lines until I had done something fun and relaxed beforehand. So David and I are not legally married. Legally, we're just 2 guys who had a costly party.
What? Before the wedding, David told me you two were heading to City Hall to make it official. I'm pretty sure it was last week.
That's exactly what we were planning to do the other day. However, something urgent came up at my dreadful job, and I had to make a last-minute business trip. As a result, we had to postpone it. What a stroke of good fortune! I'm already angry about having to end things with David so soon after a large, expensive wedding. But to think I was this close to getting divorced? How wonderful. I'm sure I have some guardian angels watching over me.
That is ridiculous. Why would you not inform me? Why would David not tell me that? Look at that. I believe I was a little forceful. I may have been too anxious to welcome you into our family since my remarks came across as harsh. I really apologize. It was never my aim to frighten you or treat you as a slave. No, I would never do something like that. I would never consider it. I just feel this huge responsibility to prepare you to be the most amazing daughter-in-law ever. We went in the wrong direction. That's the end of it. Please pretend this conversation never took place. Is it necessary to inform David? He most likely planned a different itinerary for your honeymoon. He would have had a backup plan. So, shall we forgive and forget?
No, I can't simply forget. While I prefer you this way, tail between your legs, I can't pretend nothing happened today. That would be the dumbest thing to do. If I've learned anything in my short 30 years, it's that once a cheater, always a cheater. I guess you didn't cheat in this situation. But you understand what I mean. Garbage is just garbage. It's pointless to try to repair something that has already been abandoned.
Are you comparing me to a garbage can? I'm your mother-in-law, after all.
In theory, you are nothing to me. Remember? David and I do not have a legal marriage. So we're essentially nothing more than an old lady who threatened me and forced me to do hard labor. It's truly amusing. Who would do that? I'll have someone come to my apartment and pick up my belongings. Maybe I'll find someone to sublet my place so I don't have to deal with you anymore. Because you seem to make all of David's decisions, you can arrange to get his belongings out of there yourself. I'm going to get myself out of this situation.
Wait a minute, Zelda! Allow me to explain.
I had to call it quits with my would-be spouse the day after my big wedding. Of course, thanks to an emergency business trip and something called an annulment, I was able to avoid being labeled a divorce. David begged me to take him back, claiming it was all a ridiculous misunderstanding between his mother and me. Not in a million years, I said emphatically. So there I was, doing my utmost to get my life and job back on track, when Ella reached out to me again out of the blue.
Hello, Zelda. How are you doing? I couldn't stop myself. On a day like today, I felt compelled to contact you. Today is the first anniversary of your and David's marriage. Do you recall? I still look at your and David's wedding images every now and then. They never fail to put a grin on my face. You looked really stunning. And how pleased we were all that day. Huh? Zelda, it aches my heart to see you moving more and further away from us. So, what happened to us? We were on our way to being one big happy family.
Are you Mrs. Ella? You've got to be joking. You text me after a year to do what? Play victim? What is your problem? Please ignore me. I'm already tense because I'm not a fan of summer and it's above 100 degrees outdoors. In addition, I'm at work and very busy. Do you recall my pathetic job?
Oh, you haven't altered a jot. You still talk as if you want to rip someone's head off. Oh, how I had overlooked that. It's an honor. God knows women these days need some spunk. You have no idea what I had to go through after David and his father both blamed me for wrecking your marriage. They're not going to let me forget it.
Will you cry me a river? Look. I have to return to work. Goodbye.
Why don't you think about it for a while? I'm sure you'll find it in your heart to reconcile with David, don't you? You two were head over heels in love. For more than 2 years. You can't pretend that didn't happen because of an old lady's ramblings. You see, David hasn't forgotten you yet, Zelda. He no longer speaks to me because he is still upset with me. He claims you were the best thing to ever happen to him and that I ruined everything. Will you at the very least consider it? Consider it carefully.
The answer is no. I've already started dating someone else. If you're curious, his name is Leon, and I met him while on another business trip for my boring work. Of course, he is well aware of my unsuccessful first marriage. He still adores me.
You're ready to start a new serious relationship? So quickly? What do I know? I didn't think you were a tramp. To say the least, that's rather astounding. It's just been a year since you ended your relationship with my David. How did you find someone so quickly? Did you use Tinder?
That is completely absurd. Not to say there's anything wrong with Tinder, but I didn't use it. After a man-child like David, did you expect me to become a nun or something? Ella, if I were to compare you to an animal, you'd be donkeys, and my fiancé Leon and his family would be diamond unicorns. Leon's parents are incredibly wealthy, and they behave accordingly. Leon was even taken to etiquette school as a child. My future in-laws are the epitome of elegance. But you wouldn't know anything about it.
You are a silly woman. Do you think they'll be any different? How do you know they won't abandon their niceness as soon as you say I do? I'm not in the minority. My mother-in-law was also pretty strict. That's just the way things are.
I know this because I've witnessed how servers are treated in restaurants. I'm talking about 4- or 5-star restaurants here. Oh, and did I mention they bought and taught me in a 4,000 square foot lakeside house? Of course, under both our names. Besides, they already have a butler on payroll, so they won't need a daughter-in-law to do their bidding. Anyway, like I already stated, I need to get back to work. Don't ever call or text me again. Goodbye. Fortunately, Ella and the rest of Ella's family received the message loud and clear and never attempted to contact me again. I was finally able to spend my actual honeymoon with the love of my life, Leon. Italy is a really lovely country with fantastic food, music, and people. Leon's parents and sister had decorated our new house with garlands and balloons to welcome us into the family after we returned from our magical 10-day honeymoon. I wished I could have invited them all around for a small supper, but they were too preoccupied with their own lives, traveling and golfing. Leon's wonderful parents also respect our privacy and only bother us with unnecessary family gatherings around the holidays. Although I like my new in-laws as if they were my own parents, I wouldn't mind seeing them more frequently. I've finally discovered a place where I fit in. It's with Leon and Mina, our recently adopted cat. Oh, and I'm 9 weeks pregnant, which is a closely guarded secret. I'm looking forward to a future filled of optimism and wonder like never before. If this child is a boy, I promise him and myself that I will never, ever be a bad mother-in-law to his future wife.